Well, let's hope that everybody in the chamber was listening, because that was the Senate chaplain's prayer this morning on the Senate floor. If you want to know how mad the American public is at Congress, you may be mad, you may not be, but generally speaking, people are apoplectic. Because how is Congress handling its job? Respondents say 10% are in the approval column. Only 10% of people approve of Congress doing its job. 87% disapprove. When you cut into that a little finer and say, what about the Tea Party? The opinion of the Tea Party movement. 31% of those respondents say favorable, but 54% say unfavorable. 5% aren't exactly sure, but those numbers, if you're looking at the trend, represent the lowest favorability of the Tea Party to date. So the numbers are sliding, and they're sliding pretty much right across the charts. Is there a crisis in the membership of the Republican Party? Because they seem to be taking the fall, a lot of the blame for what's going on right now in this shutdown. The Democrats won't budge. The Republicans hate Obamacare. And right now, everybody seems to be real dug in. Paul Begala and Ana Navarro are our CNN analysts on the job this morning. You know, let me begin with you, Ana. When people say that this is a crisis of philosophy in the Republican Party and the Tea Party is dragging the Republican Party down into taking the blame for what's going on, is that fair? The notion that they have idealism. Whether you fault them for the idealism or not isn't the question. It's the blind idealism and the intransigence of negotiation. Is that a fair characterization?
Look, I think there is a division right now in the Republican Party. You can almost get two views on any issue, whether it's national security, whether it's something like this budget tactics. But these things happen, Ashleigh. You know, politics is a pendulum. A lot of times the pendulum shifts to an extreme and then it comes back to the middle. Paul knows that this happened to the Democrats, and it took somebody like Bill Clinton, frankly, to bring them to the center. But the Democrats were in the wilderness and in the fringes before that. So are we going through growing pains right now? Yes. Is it particularly painful for Republicans like me to see this? Very much so. But do I believe this is the end of the Republican Party? No. The pendulum will swing back. And I'm praying right there with that Senate chaplain.
Do you cut the Tea Party loose to save the Republican Party?
No, I don't think it's the end of the Tea Party. I don't think we've seen the end of the Tea Party, nor do I know that we should see the end of the Tea Party. I'm not sure that Ted Cruz and that bunch that we've seen is the exact representation of the Tea Party. They started as an organic movement without any real leadership that was against big government and was for fiscal responsibility. Those things sound good to me. I just hope that they get back to that. And the important part is that we don't cannibalize each other. I think the part that's really dangerous here is that you've got some Republicans out there telling other Republicans, if you don't toe our line, we're going to come after you. You've got more money being spent with Republicans trying to take out other Republicans than Republicans trying to take out the other team.
Paul, you're not off the hook here either. I'm an equal opportunity offender when it comes to what's going on right now on Capitol Hill. Harry Reid will not agree to a conference committee. If Harry Reid and the Senate Democrats are not going to agree to a conference committee with the Republicans, what are they going to do while everybody's losing a ton of money? What is the next step?
Ashleigh, Harry Reid and the Democrats tried 18 times over 131 days to appoint a conference committee on the budget.
Okay, 131 days.
Excuse me for talking while I'm interrupting.
No,
because what are they supposed to negotiate now? This is simply a continuing resolution. This is not even substantive legislation. So the Senate has passed a bill. By the way, the bill funding the government that the Senate supported, that the Democrats voted for, is the Republican level of funding. It's the Republican number. The Republican budget cuts are enshrined in that bill, and the Democrats are voting for it. So you're wrong when you say Democrats won't budge. They've already adopted the Republican spending level. They just won't adopt the Republican plan to throw out Obamacare. I talked to one of the highest-ranking Democrats in Congress yesterday who told me, and this is a quote, They're just too stupid in the Tea Party to realize that they've won and they can't take yes for an answer. And that's the problem.
Like
There's
I said,
stupidity mixed with cruelty.
Pardon me for interrupting, because boy did I interrupt 2 Republicans yesterday, and I took it on the chin on Twitter for it. But Paul, I'm sorry. That was then, and now the government's shut down. People aren't getting paid, and $2 billion today is going to skyfall into billions of losses for everyone in this economy. So what about moving forward instead of looking back and saying, maybe this conference committee that you said you couldn't convene before, it's time not to say no. It's time for Harry Reid to say yes. Go ahead and do it.
Just fund the government.
Paul,
this is what they need to do. They just, do something. That something is fund the government. They just have to say, look, this is why these continuing resolutions exist. Once in a while, we hit loggerheads like this, and we say, okay, we're just going to continue funding the government and then debate the other matters. But that's the fundamental obligation of the Congress. There's nothing else to negotiate here. They either fund the government or they don't. And the notion that somehow Harry Reid is at fault. This is the problem with journalists covering this, is that they fall into this garbage of equal blame and false equivalency. That's often the case. Sometimes it's not the case. This is a time where the Tea Party Republican has hijacked a perfectly honorable political party and taken it off a cliff. That's the story here.
Just because we ask tough questions and challenge you does not mean that we have agendas. I nailed you as hard as I nailed the Republicans, and I am so sick of being the messenger that gets attacked when the rest of these people out here are so sick of Congress. But I am out of time. I thank you both, Ana Navarro, Paul Begala, for joining me on the program today. Let's hope that we don't have to have this discussion for days and days. I'm not so sure we're not going to. Reminder, President Obama is going to make some remarks next hour. We're going to take you live to the